Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer Stay. This is Coloring Bliss and we are live. We haven't done a live broadcast in a while. Our software has changed a little bit. Steve is trying to make sure it's working, so he's going to load onto YouTube and make sure that everything is working right. I'm going to assume it is and get going. So, okay, good, yay! I hear myself talking, so I didn't even check the mic, so that's good that it's working. So we got little Rose back here. This is Rose, my Maltese, and I got her a new pillowcase because I had heard some feedback from you that her white pillowcase made it so that she camouflaged in too much. But the reason we are here today is because we are launching a brand new product that is so exciting. I am so thrilled about how this turned out. It is a coloring book printed on black paper, and it is so cool. So it's kind of a two-part release. First part is our new black paper, and the second part is a new mandala coloring book. So there's a little story behind this coloring book. I'm excited to talk about it. I've got Steve here to say hi to. He's getting all lined up in the shot here. Are we lined up? I didn't even look at myself. So. Do I look all right?
We've been
oh, thank you. We've been rushing around. I'm so excited to show it to you. I'll give you a little sneak peek. Look at that black paper. It's so cool, you guys. We got to go to the paper store. We have a special paper dealer, and we walked up and down the aisles and tested all this. We had stacks of paper, and oh, it was so much fun. Yeah. Okay, let's get Steve in here. Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, you're wearing all black.
Yeah, see, I'm wearing black. My black hat.
Oh.
I see you're wearing black and
yeah,
white.
I picked black too. I didn't even realize that you got all decked out in black too. That's how busy we've been getting ready for this release. I didn't even look over at this man here.
Lorraine says, love your braids.
Oh, thank you.
I'm just getting things ready here.
Purple braid here.
Everyone's saying hi.
Hi,
everyone.
So what we're going to do tonight, so I want you guys to get ready. What we're going to do is, after I show you the book and talk a little bit about it, what our plan is to have you sort of shout out a product that you would like me to test on the black paper to see how it works. Yeah. Because what we're hoping is you're going to get really excited and you're going to be like, do I have products in my stash already that will work on this black paper, and how will it look? So I want you to kind of think through what products you have, or maybe some products you've been curious about. You know, I'm thinking about buying these. I wonder if it will work on this black paper. And so I want you to get ready. Don't start shouting them out yet, because Steve's going to be the one telling me what to grab. I've got a pad of paper here ready for him to kind of keep notes, because there's no way I'm going to be able to keep up. And we're going to try as many products as we can, and as many as I can get my hands on, and we'll see how they look on the black paper. I've got some that I've already colored a little bit with, so I'm going to show you. You guys, this is so
cool.
Really cool. Really cool. It's a bit of a learning curve, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But it's like really fun. Like, you could just dive in and start coloring, and then as you get going, you're like, oh, that's different because I'm on black. Well, maybe if I try this. Oh yeah, that works really good. It's so cool.
Okay.
So, all right, Steve will get on the chat. Oh, excuse me. Steve's going to be on the chat, and I gave him a pad of paper and a pen so he can take notes and whatever he needs to do. And if you guys shout out a product that isn't within hand's reach, he's going to be my go guy, and he'll run and get it in the art studio here. That's the plan. Hopefully I can remember where it is and send him to the right place. So let me show you the book. Here it is right here. This is it, Mandala Bliss Volume 5. So this is our 5th book dedicated to mandalas. And this book, this Mandala Bliss Volume 5, I am dedicating to my dad. So my dad is getting on in age, and he suffers from dementia and Alzheimer's. And maybe 2 years ago, we gave him a coloring book, and took him a while to get into it. And it was the the simple mandalas. Which volume was that one?
3.
Volume 3 that we gave him, because I wanted to give him something pretty basic that he could color in. And recently he really got into it, and it's been really a good thing for him to do therapeutically. And I mean, my dad is not like an artist. He is very creatively inclined, but very more like with wood and that kind of thing, but never with this kind of art. So it was just so touching to me to see that this was something that he had really latched onto and was really enjoying. But he was blowing through that book so fast, and I was like, I need to draw more simple mandalas for him with lots of big open spaces that he can color and really enjoy. Because actually this is my favorite. The volume 3 was my favorite of all the mandalas I've ever drawn for all of us, because I love having the big open spaces where I can get in and explore and play around with different products and just have a good time in these mandalas. So that was the inspiration. So Mandala Bliss volume 5 is dedicated to my dad. And then we had this idea of trying out some new paper. And I thought this is the perfect opportunity. Mandalas that have big open spaces printed on black paper. What better way to experiment and play around with a new foundation? Is that what we can call the black paper? Is in a simple mandala where you're not too worried about like things like skin tones and that kind of thing. You can just get in and play with our products and see how they perform. So that's the story behind the book. Let me show you what these pages look like printed on black. I'm so excited. Okay, and Steve colored this digitally. I thought you did a really good job.
Oh, wow. It was real hard.
Okay, here we go. Are you guys ready? All right, this is the first one. Now, hopefully, yeah, if I pull my hands back, the light hits it and you can see. So, I've seen black books before, black coloring books, where they've used white print. Now, our printer that we own and run, it's a bigger printer, a nice, more, industrial's the wrong word, but it's not a home printer. It's a bigger, nicer
It's kind of
printer.
in between.
Yeah. So it can't print in white. You have to buy like multi-thousands of dollars to get into a machine that can print with white. It's a specialty printer. So I said to Steve, can it print black on black? Because I think that would be cool, because the lines will sort of disappear, but can we see it good enough that you can still color with it? And sure enough, it works, and it's so beautiful. Let me show you real quick. Here's a really quick sample of something I've been playing around with. Look how cool this is, you guys. So this is one of the mandalas in this book. I'll show it to you here in a second. And I was playing around with coloring little gems, different colored gems. And then I just used silver and white to create a border around each gem. This was really simple. These were 3 color blends with a little white Posca pen to make that shiny shine. And then the silver and the white for the frame made it look like chrome, because the black of the paper shines up through the silver. So this is so new, because instead of white shining up through our color pencil, it's black shining up through, and it makes it automatically look like this chrome like mirror finish.
Lots of beautifuls and
Isn't
awesome.
that cool, you guys? And that black line just sort of melts into the background, and it doesn't stand out. It's so cool. There are some problems with working on black paper, and we're going to talk about it, but they're so overcomable. Overcomable? Is that a word? So yeah, really cool. Okay, so this is the first one. I'm just going to flip through these really quick. There's 20 mandalas in the book. If you want a coloring book from Coloring Bliss printed on black paper, right now, as of today is what, March 10th? Is that today? 11th? Yeah. March 10th. As of today, the only book you can get printed on the black paper is going to be this book, Mandala Bliss Volume 5. If you guys love it and you want more of our books printed on black paper, let us know, and we will expand it into our other books, okay? The difference here is that when I drew these mandalas, I knew we were going to be printing them on black, so I drew them with a heavier hand, so the lines are all a little bit thicker so that they would stand up against the black paper. Okay, there's the next one. So lots of open spaces to really experiment and play. I got to show you what I've been doing with this one really quick. Look at this, you guys. Whoa. I'm going to talk about this here in just a second, but look. This one, I'm not quite, see, I've only colored part way across here. Not quite there yet. I'll show you some more here in just a second. Okay, here's that circle one that I did the gems on. Here's one with little like daisies. Oh, they're just gonna glow when they're colored.
Tika mentioned she had tried printing on a Canson black paper, but it just didn't show up very well.
And Steve's my printing guru, you guys, and he knows kind of like how to make things work. And so,
well, and we tried several different kinds of paper.
Yeah, let me put him on here. Okay, there. Now you can tell. While I'm thumbing, why don't you explain the journey here? Oh, yes.
Yeah, there was actually a paper that we found that we loved that was really dark, rich black. Mm-hmm. The black toner didn't quite show up as well, but more importantly, it didn't color as well.
No, and so we brought him home, and I was like, I want that one to be the winner. I was rooting for it because it was this almost creamy black. It was so really good, you know, but this one, it's just a little bit of a cooler black, but when I started coloring on it, it was like, give me more art supplies. I want you to color on me. And I was like, oh, hands down, this was the paper.
Because we tried a few different kinds. We tried some that were smoother. This one is actually a vellum.
Yeah.
So it has a little, vellum means that it has a little bit of texture to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a whole lot. I don't think it would ruin marker nibs or anything like that. But it does have a little texture, which is perfect for layering, grabbing onto some of these products that you're going to be trying.
I'm going to show, when we start playing with products, you guys are going to see, it's just really cool.
And the black toner looks really good on it.
Yeah, it almost shines, like when you move it in the light. Oh, there. Can you see how the black toner shines? And it actually has almost a repelling property to it. So when I tried like some water-based like paints and stuff, it almost pushed that paint right off of the line. It was really cool. And you'll see, I tried really hard. Steve was like, make more for men. And like I said earlier in the video, this whole mandala book is dedicated to my dad, who is a guy. And so I was trying really hard to draw more masculine type mandalas. So lots of geometric shapes, not as many curvy feminine lines was what I was going for. So is it Steve approved? Did I do good? Was there more masculine stuff going on? Speaking of that, there's a feminine one right there, but but that's what I was trying for.
Wondering what you were using to color like those gems and
okay, we'll get back to those. I'll show you those. Here's one that's more masculine, feminine. Usually feminine is more curvy lines. Masculine is more geometric lines. That's how you try to make things skew one way or another. But that's just rough guidelines. It doesn't really matter. So like this one, Steve's all, you haven't done anything with squares. Do something with squares, which is really hard on a mandala. Mandalas are round, you know. And so I was like, how do I do squares? So this was Steve's square idea.
Yeah, I think it turned out cool.
So here's another one. And then I think we got one more. This one, Steve didn't even see the butterflies until I pointed them out. I was like, do you think the butterflies are okay? And he's like, oh, those are butterflies. That one is so cool. We're totally doing that one.
Like he says, true mandalas.
Oh, yes, I like that. Okay. So now you've kind of have seen a quick preview of all of them. Now I also had Steve print a second copy for me onto my on one of my other favorite papers, which is our watercolor paper. In case you didn't know, we have watercolor paper too. So we have color pencil paper, we have marker paper, we have a good kind of mixed media paper, which is an all-purpose type paper. And then now we have two specialty papers, the black paper and the watercolor paper. So if you haven't tried the watercolor paper, that's another winner. Now the watercolor paper is available in all of our books. Is that right?
Right.
So if you're thinking, wow, I want watercolor paper, then you can get that one in any of our books. So I had them printed twice. So because I know I'm going to be using these mandalas for a lot of demonstrations. So I needed 2 books.
Kathy asked if it's available right now to purchase. Yep.
It is. Steve has been working so hard today, running around getting it ready. So let me bring... I'm going to reach
While you're doing that. And just so you know, we do have plans to make the black paper available for our other products as well. Just to get this launched, it's only available right now with this new Mandala Bliss Volume 5. But we are going to be rolling it out to the other coloring books and swatch books. And in fact, I was playing around with some swatches, Jen.
I'll show you. I just pulled them forward here.
That would be cool. It'd be a lot of fun.
Because as I've been working, I was like, I need to swatch them. Because as I've been working like with the Prismacolor pencils, not all Prismacolor pencils like to be on black. And then some of like the lightest colors, they just look white. Even like a light pink, it just looks white. So swatching them, I'm like, now I need to re-swatch all my Prismacolors again. Only this time on black.
Seeing them on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then of course the custom swatch book, custom coloring book is going to take a little programming, so that'll probably be a little longer. But yeah.
So if anything, if you're curious about all this, you can at least become a free member over at Coloring Bliss, and that will get you onto the email list. And then as Steve rolls these products out, he sends out emails, right?
Right.
So you can know when all this is available. So here's what the swatch pages, Steve's been experimenting. Again, it's like what things print okay on black. Like I said, I drew these mandalas with thicker black lines so that they could stand up against the black. So now Steve's going through our swatch pages and he's kind of figuring out the same thing. Like, look how good that one looks on the black. But do they work as swatch pages? So we're going to play around a little bit with some of these that Steve, look at all of them that he has printed for me to experiment with and see which ones we like. And we can say yay or nay or whatever to him, what we like here. So see how this one, though, when he printed that one, it barely shows. So
that's the original, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a lot to learn about and a lot of back-end work that we're doing for you. And let me show you some of the experimenting that I've been doing here on my end to just make sure that products work on these papers. I didn't want to release this and then be like, this is just a bunch of junk. I don't want these guys to have it. So I've been experimenting with all kinds of products, and now that's what we're going to do together. So I have several pages printed just on the paper, loose from the book, so we can be as messy and as experimental as we want on these without getting into my actual coloring books. So
Tona asked a good question. Is it mixed media paper?
This paper is cardstock, so it's, 80 pound?
Yeah.
80 pounds, so it's nice and thick. It's not super smooth like our marker paper, but it's not as textured as our colored pencil paper. So it's somewhere in between, kind of like our mixed media paper, and that's why the color pencil is doing so good on it. This is all color pencil, this one here. So to do the gems, I used 3 colors, a light, medium, and dark. These are actually our Prismacolor tritones. Yellow, orange. No, this was red, orange, red, red, violet, all around the color wheel here. So it's the light, medium, and darks with our Prismacolor tritones. And then I just used a black color pencil to draw in the little cracks, like little lightning bolts. And then I used a white Posca pen for the highlight. And then the border, I used the Prismacolor silver, the shiny silver, to do the sides. And then I brought in the white. In fact, maybe I'll demonstrate a that really quick because it was so easy. There's so much we can demonstrate. I just don't know where to begin. This one here, I provided a link for you. These are like neon tubes. That's what the idea here is, to make it look like it's glowing like a neon tube. And I found an artist. His name is Bam's Way. Bam as in bam, like that. Bam's Way. So there's a link in the video description to the video where I learned to do this neon tube glow effect. He'll teach it to you, and so that I don't have to spend the time tonight on that. So I went through and followed his tutorial to do the glowing neon tubes. And it's a really fun little thing to try. Lots of Posca paint pen though. It's really thick with Posca paint pen. But really fun and really glowy to get that effect of the Posca, the neon tubes. So.
Adriana asked if it's available on Amazon or books.
The books we don't sell on Amazon because Amazon takes such a huge cut. They just whack and take all of our profit. So we would have to hike the prices like twice the cost in order for us to make any profit. So in order for us to keep the prices smaller, we sell it through Coloring Bliss, our own little print shop. That actually, it's Steve's sister that runs it for us now, and thank heavens for her because there's no way we could keep up. But the only problem with us running it on our own means that we don't have the shipping power of Amazon. So shipping, we charge you exactly what shipping costs us. So you have a couple different shipping options when you go on over to Coloring Bliss, so you can go check that out and see what works best for you. But yeah, that's the only bad thing about us doing it ourselves. The good thing about it though is that we have control. We get to print it exactly the way Jennifer approved. The paper is Jennifer approved. The printing is Jennifer approved. The binding, we bind it on the top instead of on the side. So whether you're right or left-handed, we can do it custom. You can get chipboards on the back like this or not. You can get, we have so many options. You can get swatching pages added in, although can they get that added into this one?
No.
Not yet. When you do custom books.
We are going to make this customizable, but it's not ready.
Yeah, not yet. But in the future, we do have customizable books where you can add swatching pages. There's binding pages. You can even get it unbound. Like if you're the type of person who this bugs you and you don't want this here because you're just going to take it all out anyway, you can even do that as an option. So I like it better this way where we do all of our own printing and everything, but it does cause a few other problems like we don't have the shipping power of Amazon. Okay, I think we're to the point that I am ready to try to keep up with you guys. Couple things that I would recommend that you buy if you decide to order the black coloring book. The first thing, let me show you, is this little boy here, or something like unto him. He is a black eraser. That's the first thing I discovered as I was working with these, with all of the different products I have. Let me get there. I did the wrong camera. Steve, I'm failing.
What are you trying to do?
I was just trying to get my face on it. The other way. This is live, you guys. Usually we'd edit this part out so you wouldn't have to see us or see me struggling with cameras. There. Thank you, Steve.
You're welcome.
Okay, so you need a black eraser because a pink eraser or a white eraser, when you erase on here, which you can erase, will leave behind a white residue or even a pink residue. So if you get a little black eraser, they're not that much money. You can get them at most art stores. I know even I've seen them at Hobby Lobby and at Michael's. That way you can erase on your black paper and not leave a weird residue. Okay, so that's the first thing I would recommend that you pick up. The next thing that you're going to want is a really cool, really good white color pencil. It can be Prismacolor. It can be, one of my favorites is the Derwent Drawing Chinese White. Also, the Luminance white pencil is really good. That one's by Caran d'Ache, the Luminance Caran d'Ache white. Just because, white on this stuff is so good. It's just so fun to play with. Let me go here so you can see how good this is. It goes down so quick, and you're going to use a lot of white. One of the things you can do, because we're so used to the white glowing up through our colors, you can actually lay down a little base layer of white with your color pencil, and then come in on top. I just happen to have a pink here with your pink on top, and then it kind of feels more like what you're used to, because now the white color pencil is shining up through and hitting that pink rather than the black. Now when I color over here, just straight to the back, see how different that pink looks? It's gorgeous. Like there's something almost delicious about the way the black is shining up through onto that. But can you see the difference? We're used to that color coming out of this pencil, not that color. So ever so often you may want to go back to that. So you're going to want lots of white color pencils. I'm going through white quite quickly, you guys. Another thing you may want is a brush of some sort. It doesn't have to be a makeup brush. I think I got this one at Walmart. It was like a 99-cent brush or something. It's just a makeup brush. But the crumbs, even the least crummy color pencil, you see every crumb on black paper, you guys, and it drives me crazy. So having a little brush handy that you can just brush away the crumbs, if you're like me, it will just make your life a little happier. So a little brush.
Cuddly Kisses says, I prefer the black erasers in general, especially the Prismacolor Scholar Triangle.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. So, yep. So that's one thing. That's one thing. Extra white color pencils of whatever variety is a must. And then the other thing that has been super handy is just a good old blending stump. It's surprising how great it works on black. Again, we don't have to worry about the white of the paper shining up through anymore. It's kind of mind-bending. A lot of this is very mind-bending. So let me show you. Let's look at this yellow right here, which I colored really light. And if you start to blend it with a blending stump, it just sort of blends and smears it down, and you get the coolest effects. So you can really play around with the blending stumps. Okay, so you may want a blending stump. These ones, I think I picked up on Amazon, like a big multi-pack with different sizes. Blending stumps are basically pressed paper into like a pencil shape. And with your blending stump, you're going to need something to clean the edge, which is typically you just pick up some sandpaper. And sometimes they're in the drafting section. They look like this, or you can just get regular old sandpaper. This is what I like because it has lots of multiple sheets of the sandpaper. You just clean it off, and then when this gets no more grit left, you just tear it off and you have a fresh piece. And I think this is like $1.50. So, all right. Now, I promised you we're going to play with products. So let me get things out of the way. If you heard Mishka, he was back there. That's our cat that was meowing. Let me get this out of the way too. Steve's got a pen and a paper. So as they start shouting out products, I'm not going to be able to keep up, but I am going to have him make a list. And I may try them if we don't have time. Obviously, we're not going to have time to get them all, but maybe off camera later, I can do it and post pictures or something, either on Facebook or Instagram or something of the things we don't have time to get to. Okay, so start shouting it out in the chat, the products you would like me to try, and I'll see what we can do. There's going to be so many fun things to try. Okay. Mishka's so cute. I'm going to take a drink. I haven't done a live in a while. I'm already exhausted. Ah, there. Okay. I think I'm ready.
Okay, Jessica. Crayola colored pencils and crayons.
Okay. My Crayolas.
Gel pens, maybe even metallic markers, gel crayons. Katara would like to see pastel pencils.
Okay.
Jennifer, gouache.
Oh dear. Here we go. All right. Start writing them down, Steve. Maybe you should write down the name of who says it too, so I can Shout out to them. Okay. Oh, I hope I don't drop too many things today. All right, here are my little stash, although I have a few new ones that I haven't opened up yet. Okay, let's get this going here. See if I can do it. That and then that. I did it. Okay, I heard pastel pencils, and oh boy, these are so good on here, you guys. So after you color with pastel pencils, you're going to want to seal your paper with some sort of sealant, and it'll work great on here. Okay, so let's try a little bit of red violet. Look how good. Look how good, you guys. Oh, let's go into something different, like blue. Let's really push it here. Steve's writing away. He is writing everything down. You're going to start seeing this dust issue I'm talking about. Let's do a dark blue.
I need a different pen. This one's...
Is that one failing? I have a few to pick from. How about a purple one? Okay. Now, we've got a 3-color blend here. I'm going to just gently start to blend with my finger here. We could have used the blending stump too. Okay. Never blow pastel dust. Oh dear, Jennifer, this is a bad example. And then I usually come back after I've done the initial blend to kind of relay in things. Oh, that was a light. Here we go. Oh, that's good. So I heard also Crayola, but that's something I'm going to have you grab, Steve. It's in a different spot. Oh, let's grab the white. Oh, see, we could do little white dots. Look how great. Add details. That's another thing I love about the simple mandalas, is if you want to doodle into them. You can...
Carolyn Spear just donated for us.
Carolyn, thank you so much. Oh, do we need to do rose at the end? A rose...
Oh, that's right. We used to do that.
We used to do rose. Okay, there is pastel pencils. And the dust just went everywhere again. Never blow. Okay, there. Look how pretty. Oh, it's gorgeous. Oh, it's so good. Okay, stop oohing and ahhing, Jennifer, and get on to the next one. What was the next one, Steve?
Okay, gouache.
Okay.
Metallic Sharpies. Jennifer had asked about those.
Okay, let's do gouache next. That's going to be right here. La la la. Right at Steve's feet, of course. I'm just going to grab the first gouache I can find here that's easy. Hopefully I can get into them. I knew today was going to be a throw everything everywhere kind of day. Okay. And I've got water ready, and I've got a brush ready, and let's grab a palette. Okay, this is my Arteza gouache. So just some good student grade gouache. Let's go in. I'm just grabbing the first 2 colors that jumped out at me, which was lemon yellow and green. And we'll put a tiny bit here of the yellow. So what you're going to want to think about is any products that are not very translucent are going to be your first ones up. That will be probably your most exciting, most fun to try. But the translucent ones may surprise you. I don't know. There's one product I got to show you that I tried that I was like shocked by. Okay, so this is not watercolor paper. This is just standard paper. So that means it doesn't have any kind of protectant on it. Watercolor paper has something called sizing on it that protects the fibers of the paper. So the minute we hit this with any kind of wet medium, the fibers of the paper are going to swell up and start acting funny. So anytime you use any kind of water-based product or any wet product on a standard piece of paper, you just got to be careful and tread lightly. And you can do pretty much anything you want. You just got to be careful. Okay, let's start with the yellow. So I'm going to use the gouache pretty thick. Okay, let's do this little leaf here. And all gouache are not created equally, even within one set. So what most watercolorists and even gouache painters do is they swatch, and their little swatch charts that they do have a black stripe onto it, if you've ever seen them swatch. And that black stripe is there because they're testing for translucency, to see how transparent their product is. Is it going to be super opaque, or not? So like this yellow may be one of their least, it may be one of their most transparent, I don't know.
What was that brand of pastel pencils that you used?
Those were the Carbothello by Stabilo. They're just a standard, almost student grade pencil. I recently bought a different brand that I'm going to be trying, but I haven't had time yet. Steve, will you grab the box that's on our shelf over there that says crayons? It's got the Crayola crayons in it. Okay, now I've got the green. I didn't let it dry very long. That's one good thing about gouache, is it dries pretty fast. You can just set it behind me there.
There was a S.E. Hebert wanted to see like Neo Colors, some high-end crayons too.
Okay, there's the green.
Yep.
Okay, so, and then gouache will usually look a little bit more opaque as it dries. So we'll let that sit. And you can come back and do a second coat. That's one good thing about gouache too, is that you can come back and do multiple coats. Okay, so that's our little experiment with gouache. It works awesome, you guys, with the black paper, but you just have to tread lightly because it's not watercolor paper. If we were working in this same book that I had printed on watercolor paper, this one here, this one has sizing on it, so I can be a lot more rough and tumble with my watercolor mediums, my water-based mediums. Okay, what's the next one? Are we doing crayons? Is that what we're doing? I heard crayons was like one of the very first things that someone requested.
Yeah, and so I think let's do both the low end and the high end, like we did in our test.
Okay. I want to try... I'm the one pulling crayons, so... let's try a glitter crayon. And then what was my favorites? The pearls? No, the confetti were my favorites, right? Yeah, let's try the confettis. And we'll try the glitters. Okay, let's see how they look. And I've got the Neocolor ones. Is that what they wanted to see? So we've got the very expensive high-end artist grade crayons, and we've got some fun Crayolas. Okay, let's grab, I keep reaching for green tonight for some reason, you guys. Oh, maybe it's because St. Patrick's Day is coming. We'll say that's why. Okay. So let's try this. So what you'll be surprised by with crayons, again, is that not all crayons are going to perform the same way. So you'll probably want to swatch and test them out. You can see this one is actually quite translucent, this glitter crayon. And let's see if the dark one, yeah. So these ones are doing exactly what I kind of thought was going to happen. They're very crummy. Not as glittery as what I wanted them to be. And they're just kind of giving a hint, which is kind of cool too, because like, let's say you're coloring this page and you didn't want these leaves to really stand out, like that neon tube one that I was showing you earlier. I really wanted the neon tubes to be the main attraction on this one. Let me grab it. And I wanted the yellow to sort of sink to the back, which would be what would happen, right? If you were walking past a sign and the neon tubes were just glowing like crazy, anything behind it would just be dim in comparison. So if you knew you had these crayons, you could color with these and make it be sort of in the background, and then use one of your other more opaque, bright products to really shine and be...
Kathy's wondering if the neon Crayolas would show up on it.
Ooh, Steve, you want to grab the neon box?
Have you heard of Wan Shui oil color pencils?
This sounds familiar. Okay, here are those from... No, we don't. These are my favorites from those little packs that we tested a while back. These are the confetti ones that have like the different colors that come out as you color with them. And
okay,
yeah,
here are the neons.
They're not doing anything too interesting here. Just kind of falling flat. You can see the other colors coming through ever so often, but not as spectacular as they are on white. So I would reserve these for white paper. Okay, let's see what the neon does. Look, it's got the neon on it. Ooh, that pink.
Created to Bliss says, I'm digging Jennifer's nails.
Oh, thank you. I picked these. I've been holding on to this box for this release. I was like, we got to use these cool nails for our black paper release. Okay, I'm going to use a couple colors. Let's see if maybe I'm just grabbing some lame ones. There's a couple different ones. Steve's grabbing all kinds of crayons.
Yeah, there was Becky's wondering about the metallics, so I grabbed those for her.
Oh, okay. Yeah, these ones aren't doing very good too. I'm kind of excited to see what the Neocolor ones are going to do. Didn't we try it on black when we were doing our tests? No, I can't remember. Oh, that's the glitter pack.
I think we did. Yeah.
It seems like we did.
We usually do.
Okay, so the neons kind of failed. But not bad. Again, they could be used in very certain circumstances. Steve grabbed the metallic FX ones. Ooh, grabbed kind of a coppery one. See what I mean about the crumbs, you guys? They really stand out on the black. So you're going to want some sort of brush, especially if you're like me and your hands are warm. Anytime I try to brush things off with my warm hands, it creates smears. Well, it's really pretty. It's kind of doing a waxy shine for you guys. I'll move it in the light here in a second so you can see, because it's actually quite pretty. It's giving me like vintage vibes. These two are giving me like vintage vibes. Very masculine. I don't know if it's just because it's on black. Okay, here are the metallic crayons now. Let's try red.
Did you try purples yet?
No.
No, sorry, pearls.
No, we didn't try the pearls.
Someone's wondering if the pearls were meant for black.
Okay. See, some of them, see, look. These were supposed to be for black. That was this set right here. Metallic. They show it on black too. But, I mean, these are Crayola. They are Crayola. They only do what Crayola can do, right? Nothing to, like, go, woohoo! Not like
we
these.
Gotta hurry and just do these and then
Not
move
like
on
these.
from Crayola.
I know, we got caught up in a Crayola.
It's good, though. I'm wondering
Yeah, okay, here's the pearls, which again, they do show it can be done on black. So let's see, I'll grab a couple different shades so we can just kind of see a few of them. That's what I grabbed.
Lindsay Lou has the whole set of Jelly Roll Moonlights, and they're begging me to buy this book.
Yes, they are stunning on here. Oh, sorry, I wasn't in the shot. Yeah, these are doing a little bit better, you guys. But still, I'm really curious about the Neo colors. That was an interesting blend. Not one I would normally do. When we went over, I brought a page out for one of our nieces. And she was a little perplexed by the black paper at first. But then I was like, what can you not color with on black paper? And she got this little like mischievous look on her face, and she pulled out her black color pencil and started coloring with them, like, see, I can't use black. And she was giggling, and then I'm like, what can you color with? And she pulled out her white color pencil, and oh, she was just thrilled that she got to use her white color pencil that she doesn't usually use. So she was having a great time and was just like, wow, this is really neat. And I was like, the kids are going to love this, coloring on black, especially if you pull out something like really sparkly like the Sparkle Pops. And okay, let's try a 2-color blend with a couple blues here from the Caran d'Ache. So these are artist grade. We had that video very recently about these very bougie pencils here. So let's do this circle. So this is kind of like what I did for the rings around those gems. What I did was the darkest part like this. I mean, look at the difference, you guys.
Wow.
No
That's
crumbs. Pretty. Okay, and then I came in with the lightest color like this.
Oh, wow. And
did just a little bit of the lightest. Again, the difference is that black is shining up through. Ever so often, it throws me for a loop. And then you come back with your dark and go over that light just a bit, and you get that second color. So you get your mid-tone by doing that. It's very interesting. And then I went back with my light again and kind of streaked it out a little bit. That's how I did those rings. Only I used silver and white.
Now,
look at the difference.
Where would your Neocolor 2s be?
They're down by your feet. But is that the next thing in the list? Or are you just curious? All the way down bottom and to the back.
Well, I mean, Neocolors in general,
Yeah.
And so...
Oh, let me put this back. I gotta sort of stay organized, or my whole place is gonna be like a bomb went off when we're done. So these are Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2. Neocolor 1 is wax, non-water soluble, so it's water resistant. These are Neocolor 2 wax, but water soluble, so you can hit it with water and the binders relax. So you get a 2-for-1 here. So I have the full set of these because they are dreamy. So let's pick 2 colors. Again, let's go for this peachy color and this color here. And let's just color right here. I'll go light first this time. Again, play with your order of operations. We all have usually you come in with this color and then you come in with this color. But because we're coloring on black, the rules have changed on us. Usually we're trying to bring in highlights and bring in shadows, right? When we're doing our blending. Things are very different when the shadow is already there. Look how great. I love that these crayons, the Neocolor 2s, are a 2-for-1. You get both the ability to color, just like a standard crayon, and then you can come in and hit it with water if you want to blend it out. Although I'm really loving this blend. I don't know if I want to hit it with anything at all because this is really pretty. Look at that.
Wow, they're just so vibrant.
I want to go again, and we'll hit this one with water and see the difference. I'm going to do this one really messy, though, because once we hit it with water, everything's going to change.
Mary asked, how similar are Neocolor 1 crayons to oil pastels?
Oil pastels typically are more the texture of, say, lipstick. So they typically, now there's all different kinds of ratings, right, and hardness. So oil pastels are typically more used like with your hand. You can get in there and rub them and blend them with your fingers and manipulate them that way. Neocolor ones are much more like a standard crayon in that it feels and colors like a normal crayon. You can get in there with your finger and rub them, but it's more about heat than it is about a creamy texture. You're kind of creating friction to get that motion going, if that makes sense. Now, if you have any other product suggestions, Steve's still adding to our list. Okay, let's hit this with a little bit of water, and I'll show you what will happen. And it's going to be different. Again, when you hit this with water, the binders relax, the pigments get loose, but instead of the white of the paper glowing up through the pigments, what's going to happen now is the black of the paper glows up through the pigments. So it's very different. Okay. So, ooh, don't get water on your pretty book. Okay, so just a tiny bit of water. Remember, we're not on watercolor paper. And I'm going to activate the dark first. I don't know. Let's try the dark first. Okay. So see how the black starts? It shines up through first. It's very different. So that's when at the beginning I said there's a bit of a learning curve. Don't be afraid of that learning curve. You know, if you buy the coloring book, maybe pick your least favorite mandala. I'm not offended. If there's one that you just like, ew, that one's ugly, why'd she draw that? That's fine. Pick that one and make it be your swatching experimental page like I'm doing right here. And get in there and make a mess. Give yourself permission to experiment, to make mistakes, to figure out what is this learning curve that Jennifer's talking about. And get in there and see what happens. Like right now, I'm like pushing the light onto the dark. What happens there? If I push the dark into the light, what's happening there? Which one do I like better? I liked when I pushed the dark into the light. So now if I re-wet my brush just lightly and start pushing over here, what's going to happen? These are all the kinds of things that I experiment and learn with, and it's slightly different because, again, black of the paper is shining up through instead of the white. So lots to learn. It's so fun. Okay, that turned out pretty. Which one do you like better? The dry or the wet? Comment below. I'm curious. Okay, that's Neocolor 2. Don't get confused. Remember, Neocolor 2 is your 2-for-1. You get both the dry and the wet. Neocolor 1 is just one thing. It does just one thing, okay? All right. I'm going to put this away now. What's next, Steve? We haven't done any gel pens yet. That goes down there, bottom drawer.
Okay. Let's see. Pastel pencils. You already did that. Gouache. Metallic Sharpies.
Metallic Sharpies. Okay.
And then Paul Rubens and like iridescent gelatos.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right. Sharpies are in a box now. A white box, I believe, with a blue label that says Sharpies and Bics.
Okay, got it.
Whoa. We're kind of rearranging our art studio. And I tried to get things in some kind of order for today because I knew this was going to happen.
Lorraine, wet. Robin, wet. Cuddly Kisses, wet.
Oh, you guys like
Patty
the wet
likes
better.
It dry. Belle likes it all. Nasheed, Mary, Stacy like wet. Shar, dry. Yeah.
Okay. I keep handing Steve stuff. Okay, this page is officially crummy, so we're going to move it off and bring up the next one. Let's bring up this one. Now, I know that these have a mix of Bic and Sharpie metallics in here, and I know some of them are on their way out as far as drying out. So we're going to test them and see if we can find one that's working. Okay, here we go. This is the bronze Sharpie. Let's see if it's working. It is. Good boy. Okay. Whoa. Okay, so alcohol markers. Let's have a little talk about alcohol markers. Alcohol markers are typically very translucent. So they may not be the best on the black paper, but we need to try, I think.
That looks great.
Yeah, okay, here is, I think this is a silver, platinum silver. This is by Bic. Let's go right, oh yeah. I'm gonna move it in the light here.
Wow,
whoa.
that's beautiful.
These metallics, I'm gonna go right over the black line as an artistic choice. Partly because I'm shaking and I can't get the line perfect, so I might as well just hide the line. Now, sometimes metallics look better on black. Sometimes they lose their metallic property on black. Here's gold by Sharpie. And these tend to be extra stinky, the metallics, if you're sensitive to smelly markers. They smell different than an alcohol marker. They smell like paint.
Well,
do you
I'm
want to
curious
smell?
about regular Sharpies.
Would you like to smell?
No, thank you.
Okay, let's bring up a regular Sharpie. I think I've got, these are like regular, these are just regular. They're Bic, but you know, they're an alcohol marker. So let's do a green.
Mary says that the Sharpie metallics are actually paint instead of alcohol.
Yeah.
Which is why they're more opaque.
So
Oh, yeah.
here you can see the difference. It's more like it's tinting the paper, but it's, I don't think it's going to look green. Let's do a different color right next to it. Let's do like this hot pink. And we can look and see if one looks greenish next to the other. Again, maybe sometime though you'll be like, I wish this was just a little bit warmer of a black.
Try, you know, this angle here, you can kind of see the difference in color. Like you still can see it, but it's not a wow.
So that's green. And
like
that's
you said,
red.
maybe as an undertone, it might be interesting.
Maybe, like I said, if you want a warmer black, you could tint it down with an alcohol marker. That would
if you're on black,
let's try
is
red.
it a tint or a shade?
Oh dear. Black plus a color is shade, so it's a shade of black.
Because basically your paper
I have
is
my
the
cheat
shade.
sheets right here, just so you know, of my art terms, so I sound like I'm, you know, really knowledgeable. I just look up there and read my terms. Okay, so I don't know if any of you have recommended this product yet, but while we're doing these strange translucent products, I'm going to show you something really bizarre. Are you ready? If you're coloring with me or doing your laundry or cooking dinner or something right now, put down what you're doing. Come look over at the screen for something bizarre. Has anyone suggested a pit marker?
No.
Okay, people. Let me bring up my handful of pit markers here. I don't have a lot of colors. These boys are really expensive and I only have a small stash. These are by Faber-Castell. They're called the Pitt Artist Pens. These are Indian inks. This is what they're made of. So they're not alcohol markers. They're not water-based. It's India ink. Okay. So they're light, fast. They're really cool. These are really good. So I was like, ooh, what are they going to do? I'm so excited. Okay, you ready? I almost knocked that over. Let me fix that. Okay. Let's start with this blue right here. Okay, you guys ready? Are you all looking now? Did I catch your attention? Okay, watch it change. So I think you're going to run into a few products that do some interesting tricks. Okay, let's try green. That was blue. What color is this? Cobalt blue. This is green. I think this green is getting a little bit leaf green. This is leaf green. And this one's a little dry. So bear with me here.
Kind of hard to see in that angle.
It goes down sort of fluorescent-y first, and then it settles in.
That is weird.
Okay, let's look at red. Very bizarre. So, this one was the weirdest.
Wow. Yeah, that's cool.
So I don't know what is in the formula. I don't know if it's like I don't know if binder is the right word or if it's the India ink. I don't know.
Do you have... Well, you have India ink, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if we want to keep going down this rabbit hole. We could do more art science on this, but I just thought this was really interesting. Some of them do it. Like, now see how that's almost getting an orangey tint? So there's something really cool going on here that deserves some art science that we don't have time to do right now. But again, you're going to want to swatch your stuff before you just dive in thinking, this is going to be the most beautiful red lips on my pretty girl. And then you end up with that color. That would be a bit of a shocker. So that's the Pitt pens by Faber-Castell. Really good product. Superior artist quality product, but not necessarily for black paper. Okay, I'll put those back. All right, you can go back to your dishes or whatever it is that you're working on while you're listening to me play with art supplies. Okay, what's the next thing that you said? The Paul Rubens?
Oh yeah, Paul Rubens.
Okay. Woohoo!
While you're at it, are the Kuritakis near there too?
Yeah, right there. Okay.
And what was the difference in these Paul Rubens?
Those are just flat.
Oh, okay.
These are the glitters. These are the ones they want. I'm assuming you guys want the glitters. Okay, so I think my swatch is in here. Let me grab my water sprayer right here. Okay.
We'll try some Kuritake pearls as well.
Okay. Steve grabbed those. So we'll prep them too. So these are the Ganzai Tambai by Kuritake. And then these are the really expensive Paul Rubens.
Do those Pitt pens change color on white?
No.
So you don't see that effect on white?
No.
Okay.
Weird, huh? Okay. So, how you prep these paints to get the most bang for your buck on these paints is
Michelle says she fell into a rabbit hole for a time there too, testing all of her different stuff now.
So much fun. This is just fun in itself, just doing this. That's why I was like, Steve, they're going to want a swatch book made of just black paper because it's just fun to do this, just to retouch and re-enjoy all of your art supplies. This is an excuse to do it. Okay, to get the most bang out of your buck, if you invest in these, if you didn't know, get a little spritz bottle, or you can use a dropper, and you're going to want to pre-moisten all of this type of paint. Your metallic paints, they work better this way. I'm going to do it off screen. Okay. So just a few spritzes, then it can soak in and sort of get everything juicy and going. I'm going to do the same thing here with my Paul Rubens. I think Paul Rubens came out with a bigger set of metallics, Steve. I've not even looked at them because I'm like, I'm going to want them.
Do you have the Kuritake glitter pens? I don't think so, do you?
I have this. Is this what you mean? I haven't ever opened this. I found it as we were cleaning out. Is that what you mean? I have that, and I have Wink of Stella's. That's Zig, not Kuritake. Okay, here we go. Let's start here.
Those colors are so nice, aren't they?
So these are Japanese, so they're different than our normal watercolors. So you want a lot of water, again, but we're not working on watercolor paper, so you got to be careful. Let's try this orangey one. So these are all going to be different, again, different amounts of translucency. So we'll just see. So sometimes these really benefit from like 2 layers. Now, remember how in the very beginning I talked about the printer we use, the line it prints almost repels the water, and I'm hoping you're going to be able to see that. This is that orangey color. It's called Scarlet Red, actually. So sometimes these colors, they look almost white for the first coat. Then you let it dry and you come back and do a second coat, and that's when the color will really shine. But we don't have time to do that. We're just going to lay down a few colors here. I'll do the blue. So let me show you now that it's sat. You don't need hardly any water on your brush, so that saves your paper. You can get it going. See how beautiful. So pretty. Okay, this color is cobalt blue. Oh, I dripped some water. That is one problem with these, with this paper. If you drip water on here, water stains are a real problem. Okay, here comes blue. So you can go right up against those lines. And like I said, I drew these lines extra thick knowing we were going to be printing onto black. So they will act like a natural dam for your wet mediums. As long as you're not too, like, obviously if you went blank, it's gonna wow, that was a good sound effect. Okay, is that good? Did you want more colors from this palette?
No, I think that's good.
Okay, and then you have to let it dry. You want to let it air dry. Remember, we got everything wet, and especially if you live in a humid area, these will grow mold and stuff, and you don't want that to happen, so just let it air dry, and then you can box it up and put it away. Okay, so I'll hand this to Steve, and he'll set it way down there for me. Okay, now, these have been sitting for a couple minutes, so I'm going to spray again. Wake it up. And I actually have already swatched all these. I have this little swatch card that I laminated and folded in half, so you can see real quick how they look on black. But we'll do some in real life.
Amazing.
Yeah, these are really nice, high quality paints. So let's do this. This green here is calling me. Again, I reached for the green. It's a green kind of day. So you'll see, see how they're drying? They get their colors coming out. I'll move it in the light here in a second. But because we primed these paints, you need very little water to get them moving onto your paper, which is really important where we're not on watercolor paper. Again, if you are wanting to do lots of watercolor effects, then I recommend ordering the book on watercolor paper. And that's why I had Steve print it twice for me, once on black and once on watercolor paper, because I love playing with all these. Let's go for a really light one. Let's come way down here.
Can't see it.
Oh, my face is in the way. I'm almost to the widest one. Let's see. Oh. Look at the gold come out. You didn't see me do it there, but my brush went up on the line and the toner pushed it back. So it actually is helping me be so much more precise. This brush I'm using is the Princeton Snap No. 6 round. I was watching a YouTuber that does watercolor painting. I really like how she works. She does gouache and watercolor, and she recommended these Snap brushes. This is what it looks like. Princeton Snap. So far I like it. The bristles get stained really easy, but you can usually clean it off.
Maggie asked again, what brand is this?
This is the Paul Rubens. Looks like this, the box. And this is the 24 glitter set that I own. They're pretty pricey. So there's less expensive sets you can get. This was recommended to me by Lindsay the Frugal Crafter. She's like my watercolor guru. So she did a whole video where she tested a bunch of different glitter and metallic paints, and when I was done watching that, I was sold on the Paul Rubens. So, okay, comes in a nice little tin, and yeah. But again, you want these to dry really good before putting them away. So I'll have Steve put this with the Kiritakis. Okay.
So yeah, you better tilt that though so they can see that.
So you can see the shine. Now we're getting a little bit of warpage from the water, but nothing too severe. Hopefully you can see that shine there. Better shine than we got with the Sharpie markers. These are those weird pit pens. These are the flat alcohol markers. That's what we've got. Okay, what's up next?
Okay, let's try distress inks and then gel pens with glycerin. And specifically, seems like there were a few Moonlight requests.
Okay, distress inks meaning the actual cubes, I assume?
I would guess.
Okay. I don't think I've tried these yet. I have my suspicions. But I did have my suspicions with the pit pens and I got surprised. So let's see. Okay, these are my distress inks here. Okay, I have them in a tin. On the back side, I have a little swatch chart for me, a cheat sheet swatch chart that corresponds with all the inks inside. Let's try both a light and a dark. Let's try pine needles and scattered straw. Okay, here's pine needles and a scattered straw. Okay. Now, if you zoom out just a little bit for me, they can see I'm actually working on the Tim Holtz Tonic Studio Glass Art Media Mat that was gifted to me by some awesome fans. Love it. So it has these little squares over here that you can, why they have these squares. You can kind of load up the colors you want to work with like that. And okay, so this is the lightest color, which I'm guessing isn't going to do much, but we'll see. Let's just do it over here. Now it looks like I just sort of rubbed it like with oily hands or something.
So that's a no.
That's a no. Let's try the darker. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So these are pretty translucent inks. So my guess was that they weren't going to do much, kind of like the alcohol inks. They just don't do much. We could hit it with a little water. What would happen then?
Well,
all right.
Let's go on to some gel pens.
It's
now.
actually starting to react now. Distress inks react with water. See how where I squirted it? It's sort of, can you, oh, the glare. All the glare. There.
Sorry for a second there.
Can you see how it's making a speckledy effect? But you have to really want it to see it. All right. What's next? That's cool. I'm glad we tried that though. All right.
Let's try a variety of gel pens.
Gel pen time. Okay, let's
so we've
start.
Had Sparkle Pops, requests, Jelly Rolls, Moonlight.
Okay, I'll just kind of go down the row here.
Okay.
So gel pens have different properties. Your glitter gel pens are translucent. They're not going to work great. They'll just leave behind kind of a tint of color with a little bit of sparkle. So glitter pens are kind of off your list. Metallic pens, however, are going to do something for you. Depending on the brand and the kind of metallic, it's going to be sort of like the Sharpies. It's going to leave some color. As they dry, they will change. These are a wet medium. We've talked about wet mediums already tonight. That wet mediums change as they dry. So depending on the properties of the particular gel pen you're playing with, this is going into a blue now, because now we're playing around with black. So we're used to, as they dry, the white of the paper shining up through, right? Now as they dry, we're going to have black of the paper interacting with the inks. This is the brown color. So they're kind of flattening. Is that a word? Here's red. So those are the metallics from Jelly Roll. Some of the best metallics I have, although Sparkle Pop's going to do even better. And the reason why Sparkle Pop's going to do better is because they're a hybrid pen. We'll talk about that in a second. Okay, another kind of pen by Jelly Roll are the shadows. This is the gold shadow. This is the silver shadow. So they'll do something cool. Watch them dry. If you're doing dishes, look up. So this is the silver shadow. So as it dries, a silver metallic sheen floats to the surface. They actually work better as a line. See how it comes out green and then the silver floats up. Really fun pen to play with. Not necessarily a great pen for coloring. Here's the gold shadow. Same effect here, except instead of silver floating up, gold floats up. Really fun for writing. Detail work, that kind of thing. Really fun. But works really good on black because it's a very opaque pen. Okay, next pen I can show you are the Moonlights. Moonlights were actually formulated with a much more opaque formula. So they're going to be a winner. I'm going to grab a gray, we're going to grab a pink, a neon, and a lavender. That's quite a... Okay, here's the lavender. So I've drawn whole mandalas just in my sketchbooks with these. They recently came out with new colors. I think I have whole videos all about these. They're great for writing. These are winners. So usually what I tell people to do is buy a basic set. We have a video that we recently did where we compared cheap sets of gel pens. I think I have the set that won behind me in case we wanted to see them. This one's being a little funny. So usually what I recommend for gel pens is that you get a good, big, cheap set of gel pens. Here's the gray. Look how good gray looks on the black. Very interesting. Very moody and cool. I love it. Anyway, so buy a good, big, cheap set that has a little bit of everything. And then start investing in these specialty pens. And the first set I usually tell people to get are the Moonlights because they are so versatile. They're great on white and really good on black. So they're really fun to play with. Lots of fun colors too. Here's pink. This page is a really good one for swatching.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the Moonlights. The next ones I always recommend everybody buy after the big cheap set, the Moonlights, are the Sparkle Pops. How many times have I said Sparkle Pop on this channel? I don't know. I'll just bring out the full set here. So there's the Sparkle Pops and the Crazy Pops. They look like this. They're nice, bold. They have a dual effect. So on black, they come out one way, and on white, they come out a different way. And that's because they're a hybrid pen. They are both metallic and glitter. So whatever magic they're doing in there, we need more. Pentel, we need more. So all of these pens have a dual effect. And they stand up to black so good because you get both the shine of a glitter and the sheen of a metallic, and then the color, whatever color they're doing in there, it doesn't, like if you look at the metallics over here, they sort of lose their colors, but not the Sparkle Pops. So that's why I always tell everybody to buy them. Plus the ink seems to last a really long time. Look at that. This one looks green, like a lime-ish green. Maybe not lime, but a dark green on white. And then it comes out this cool blue on black. Oh, we could just go forever. This purple does this cool blue violet on black. Come on. There we go. So satisfying.
We're wondering about fluorescent, the Jelly Roll fluorescence and glaze.
Okay.
Well,
the glaze, they don't do well on black. Come on. This one writes black on white and red on black. These are like magic tricks to kids. Look at them shine.
Oh, those are fun.
So pretty. Okay, we didn't try them all, but you're getting the idea. These are well worth the money. If you have a little money or a birthday coming up, ask for the Sparkle Pops and the Crazy Pops are the two lines that they come in. Okay. Let's see, what else? Oh, of course, the Uniball Signo in the gold, silver, and white are all winners. They go down so good. Look at that. So pretty. I've done a lot of art with these pens. So good. I mean, look at that. So good. They almost glow. Okay. Have I done enough gel pens?
Yeah, I think that's good.
So in general, with gel pens, you're looking for metallics or like these really opaque moonlights or like the pastel-y type ones. Those are the ones that will stand up against a black background, okay? Let me move this in the light for you. That's what you're looking for.
Okay. We've had a few, several brands of colored pencils like Polychromos, Prismacolors, Kohinoor Tritones,
Okay.
Staedtler Ergosoft, so Black Widows, you know. So let's just try a variety of colored pencils.
Okay, I've got Prismacolor and Polychromos here. So whichever ones you want to go grab from our collection. Let's bring up another mandala here, and I'll show you what the Prismacolors do. So Prismacolors are a really soft, creamy color pencil, and they have the grays. I want to do, that's one of the first things I'm going to do in my black coloring book, is an entire mandala with just the grays. I cannot wait. Don't you think that would be cool, Steve? An entire mandala colored with their grays. They've got white, they've got the light gray, the cool grays, the warm grays, and the French grays. I want to do an entire mandala with grays. It's going to be amazing. So let me show you some of the problems, though, that I have run into so far. This is a good example. This trio right here is our light, medium, and dark blue-green, which color up on white to look very strong, light, medium, and dark. But when you come on to black, it's a different story. So whatever they've done to the formula on black, it's not quite the same. So that's why I want to go through and re-swatch all of my Prismacolors onto black paper to just see what's going on. So I'm not going to do the full blend perfectly, of course. We're just going to do it quickly here. So this is our dark, and I'll show you what's happening here. Here, if I take this there. This is our dark blue-green color, number 105. So I'm just doing medium to light pressure. Again, I'm letting the black show through. That's the whole point of coloring on black paper. I've tried a colorless blender, works amazing. I've tried odorless mineral spirits, a little odd because it kind of, it turns it to a liquid, and then all of a sudden the black of the paper is coming up through again. But it works. It's a little bit odd though. But the colorless blender, oh, that was a winner. Okay, now when I go to the mid-tone, I should see a tone shift, right? But look, they look almost identical. Isn't that interesting? And now if Steve didn't know, I would ask him and say, can you tell? Do you think I've used 1 or 2 pencils? Do you think, Steve, I've used 1 or 2 pencils?
Oh, for sure I would know you used 2. That's how good my eye is.
Liar! So that's 2 different pencils. You guys saw me switch. This is 905. And there is a slight difference, but it's not like when it's on white. So there are things that are different. That's that learning curve. Now we go to the light, and now you can see a difference. This is what I kind of expected. Okay, so Prismacolors, vibrant, beautiful. They do fantastic. The Prismacolor white is amazing on the black paper. It works so great. Okay, so the way I've been getting around this is grabbing my black. Poor little black. He gets hardly used in my kit because I have so many other pencils I prefer to use. But with black paper, he becomes your best friend. So I come in here at the tip and just ever so slightly, because he's really potent. Mr. Noir here is very potent black. Okay, so very lightly kiss some black to darken up. What's the word? Shade. A color plus black is a shade. So I'm creating a shade. Okay, and then come back again with my darkest blue-green on top of it again, and it mixes it together, and now I've got a darker color. So that's my little hack that I've been doing when my colors aren't doing exactly what I think it should. Now I've gone out of my line here, so I've got 2 options. I've got my black eraser, which I mentioned at the top of the video. This is one of the things you're going to want to buy if you decide to order the black coloring book. A black eraser is really important because a white eraser and the pink erasers leave really weird marks behind on black paper. So I can erase that with my black eraser, or I could have taken my black and colored over it, and it almost disappears, although that leaves behind wax, which can cause other problems later as I color, but you guys get the idea. You can also clean up the lines, so you can come in with your black pencil and clean up these lines with your black color pencil if you want to. So again, black, this pencil becomes your best friend, and white becomes your best friend because you can come in with your white now and tint this up. Do you remember when you first got your white color pencil and you thought, oh, I can add those white highlights that everybody does with my white color pencil? Remember thinking that and then realizing it doesn't work the way you thought it was going to work? You can actually do that now. Watch this. Ta-da! It actually works on black paper, you guys. It's so cool. Oh, it makes me happy. Okay, moving on. That's Prismacolor. As you can see, Prismacolor works like a dream. Just make sure you have your black and white handy, okay? Because it's fantastic. All right. What do you think, Rose? Was that fantastic? She's like, Mom got excited. All right, let's grab, I believe, is this my...
Oh yeah, Lindsay Lou's wondering about the blender.
Oh, it works so good.
What are those?
Oh, I'm knocking things over. That was the... And these are the Derwents.
Oh, we do want to see ink tints too. That's been requested a few times.
Well, here they are. And I thought my polychromos were here.
Do we have them over here?
Oh, yeah, they're over there. Okay, we'll do ink tints. Let's grab a yellow green. I haven't done yellow. I reached for green again.
What color is the polychromo? Oh, I think it's this one.
Okay, we'll do yellow green. I grabbed our light, medium, and dark yellow green. And we'll do 2 again, like we did with the Neocolor 2s. So I'm going to color this out really fast. We're going to look at it wet and we're going to look at it dry. Really fast, coloring sloppy, sloppy. Now, Derwent Ink Tints also has a white pencil. It's not that stellar, but it is water soluble. So if you want to play with that ability. Okay, now the mid-tone actually looks mid-tone. Sloppy, sloppy. Sloppy, sloppy. How long have we been going?
An hour and a half.
Oh, Steve thought we'd get done in 1 hour. Uh-oh, did I do that backwards? Light olive was my dark, and I think I just used it as my mid-tone. I did.
Oh well.
Oh well, it's a striped leaf. This will be an interesting leaf. All right, there you have our sloppy sloppy. I'm going to use a little bit of light here to transition into that dark color. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Maybe this is a new effect that we're always going to want to do from here on out. I'm just going to throw a little bit. I don't know what I'm doing now. All right, let's test this, okay? A little bit of water. I had a paper towel at one point. Okay, we'll activate this one. We'll start in the dark. I was watching this artist as she was creating a wall mural for an apartment complex. And it was like, I don't know how many feet, 30 feet by, I don't know. It was huge. One of her very first steps was with ink tints to block it all out and kind of get her base layer going. So she took the ink tint squares and she almost did this dance with the squares and did these big strokes, and it was so fascinating. And then she took a squirt bottle and went around and activated it all, and it dripped and did all these cool things. It was really fun to watch.
Well, that's really sad. Ink tints are so amazing on white. They're really sad on black. I mean, they look good dry.
So they must have a very translucent nature to them.
Yeah.
That's what we have learned.
Okay, here are polychromos.
Now they'll change as they dry, though, so watch. Okay, we'll see if maybe they'll do something magical after they have dried. Okay, here comes our polychromos. We're getting ready for a big video with our color pencils, so you're going to see some of our pencils are pulled out into little bags. So if you're wondering why I have a case with all my polychromos, but a lot of our sets are pulled out like this. So all right, let's see if I do orange. Let's do these three: yellow, orange, and then we even have white here. I'm curious to see how white is going to do. The polychromos white is not as, I'll do a little band of polychromos white. Polychromos white is a little bit more translucent than some of the other whites, but it's still, look how good it looks. It still looks really good. As long as you don't put it up next to a really good white, it looks really good. So if this is the only white you have, you'll be really pleased with it. Okay, so let's go yellow. So in general, I find that polychromos tend to be a little bit more translucent, which makes them an amazing layer. They layer so good. That's one of the reasons why fine artists love polychromos. They're also very light fast, but they go down so nice. So you can do like light pressure. They go down into the tooth and texture of the paper really nice. And then you can come back with another layer and another layer and another. And they just love to be layered. So I think they're going to be winners on the black paper just because of that. They're going to want to be on the black paper. Look at that. Looks like fire. Okay, now let's see if we can get that white highlight like we did with the Prismacolor. Let's see. Yep. See? Even with the wimpy white, you can still get a white highlight on there. Not quite as vibrant. Prismacolors are a more creamy pencil, so this is not surprising to me that we're getting more punch here going on. Although I did come in with the white, so to be fair, let's come in with a little bit of white. See, it's not quite as vibrant, but that's okay. It's just a different creature.
It's still really pretty.
Yeah. We could come in with a second layer and a third layer and really up the opacity, the vibrancy, the intensity, the saturation. That's the word. I had to look at my cheat sheet to get the word. So the other way to do it would be to like lay down the white first, remember? You can lay down a really light layer of white and then come on top with your yellow, and it'll look different. So remember, that's a trick. If you're like, oh, I wish that the black wasn't showing through, lay down the white first, kind of like when you prime a wall before you paint it. That's what you're doing. You're priming or doing a base layer so that when you lay that white on, the yellow on top, then it's the white of the pencil shining up through instead. Okay, so that's another way to do it. All right. Let's move on to the next pencils.
Okay, I got the Holbeins there.
Ooh. Okay. Pencils going everywhere. Okay, let's put these bad boys away. How is it doing as it's drying? It's getting a little more, the green has come back a little bit on our Inktense as it's dried.
A tiny bit.
A tiny bit, but nowhere near as beautiful as when it's on white. Okay, Holbeins. I have a few small sets of Holbeins. Full disclosure, some of them were gifted to me by awesome fans. And then we bought this set right here. Okay, I'm trying to get him out of the bag here. Okay, so in case you are just joining us and you don't know what we're doing, let me show you. We are releasing today this book here, Mandala 5, or Volume 5, Mandala Bliss. It's filled with brand new mandalas that I drew specifically with very simple details. So if you're looking for mandalas that you can get in there and just experiment with cool products and play with and, you know, not worry about teeny tiny little details, this book is for you. We also have a volume 3, which is also simple mandalas. The reason I drew this was for my dad. It's dedicated to my dad. I talk about it at the beginning of the video if you want to go back and rewatch that part. Now, we are also at the same time releasing brand new paper, so you can order right now as of March 10th. All we have available for ordering on the black paper is this book, but Steve's going to be working to release black paper on more products than that, just that. Can you see it in that light? Barely. So when I drew these mandalas, I was very careful to give us extra bold lines so that you can see them printed on the black, and it's so much fun to print. The black lines sort of just disappear as you color with them, or you can make them more vivid. I've been experimenting. Let me show you real quick. Oh, thanks for catching that. I've been practicing making neon tube effects, which I have a video that I linked. You can go and learn how to do this neon tube effect. And then I also did this earlier today. This is all Prismacolor pencils, and I did all these little gems, just kind of practicing to see how the colors were looking, and I did that silver chrome effect around all of those gems. So there's so much we can do with this black paper, and that's what we're experimenting with right now. We had everybody kind of shout out products they wanted me to test and try. So that's what we're doing. Now you can also order Mandala Bliss Volume 5 on just regular paper if the black is not your jam. I had Steve print it on black paper and on our watercolor paper because I love experimenting with watercolor paper. So here is the Holbein pencils. They just recently started being available on dickbook.com. That's where I got my little set of 12. So that's where these pencils come from. So let's see what they do. Let's do yellow, green to blue. Okay, now if you want a discount on our products over at the Coloring Bliss print shop, you can become a Bliss Booster member, a paid member. The lowest member is just $5 a month, and you get access to all of our coloring pages and all kinds of cool stuff. And you get a discount at the Bliss print shop, so you can get a little price reduction. And if you want to be notified of when the products are becoming available on black paper, like our swatch books and more mandala books and our Easter books and all the other books, then get on our mailing list. They can do that by becoming any level member, even free. And then Steve will be sending out emails with all that information. Now, another thing that's going on with the Bliss Partners is we are teaching workshops this month on how to color skin and hair. So if you, oh, look at that blue, you guys.
Wow.
Wow. I am barely touching the paper. Like, barely touching the paper. That is a stunner blue. Anyway, we are learning how to color skin and hair. So if that's something that intimidates you and you've always wanted to learn how to color skin and hair, then come and join our workshop series. All the workshops are archived and there for you, or you can join us as we're going through the workshops together. So come on over and check it out. I just might sit here and just keep coloring with these Holbeins. These are beautiful. Wow. I think I need to do more coloring with these, you guys. Everybody keeps saying, Jennifer, you need to color more with Holbeins. Okay, let's try the white. We'll do the same thing I did over here. Add a little white. Oh, wow. Into the yellow to help tint it. Color plus white is a tint. And then let's see how the highlight works. Oh, no sweat. Let's see if I color the white up next to the white of the polychromos. Who wins? It's definitely a brighter white or a more opaque white. I don't know what you would call that. We need to do another battle of the white pencils. We have a battle of the white pencils here on our channel, but yeah, it's like 3 or 4 years old. And I have a few more white pencils now that we could add to that battle. So those are stunning on here.
Mary loves the Holbein Luminous line of acrylic paints.
Uh-oh. Here's orange. Yeah, the orange is not as good. The red. They're really pretty. But that blue, knocked my socks off. Let's try the purple. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
all right, those are good. Okay, what else did you bring me, Steve?
Okay, I brought the Kohinoor Tritones.
Oh, Tritones. These are so much fun. Okay, they look like they're, yeah, again, sorry, we're in the middle of prepping for a big video that we're filming with a whole bunch of our pencils, so that's why we're all in weird bags and stuff. So I apologize for our weirdness today. Rip into these bags here. Some videos we film for you take months to prep for. Quite literally months. Okay. So the Tritone pencils. They're made by Kohinoor and they have like 3 different pigment colors kind of mixed in. Let's see, this one's a good one that you can see. They're a little interesting to work with because the colors come out in sort of unexpected times and ways. But what's fun about them is they've thoughtfully put the colors together. So as they mix together out onto the paper, you get a kind of cool effect. So they're not for every circumstance, but like if you're coloring a leaf, this green gives you 3 different greens all at once. So that's pretty fun. So here's that green. This is Forest, is the name of this one. So I usually rotate, I'm always rotating my pencils anyway to keep a sharp point coming up. But with these pencils, I'm like rotating all the time on purpose. I'm very mindful of that. Okay, that's the green. Let's go to yellow next. This is Desert Yellow. Rotating. Ooh, a shiny bit of yellow came up there. These could be really fun to play with.
Shauna asked, how can you get rid of the black showing through when using the Prismas?
So, you kind of, there's the colorless blender. I'll show you what that does. When I'm coloring on black, I usually embrace the black that comes through. Let me see. I was going to go to orange next. So if you really hate it and you want to get rid of it, you need to go to the burnishing step where you push hard. And burnishing means you apply hard pressure with the tool. And what's happening is the tooth or texture of the paper is getting squashed flat as you're forcing wax and pigment into that texture. So that's how you can get rid of it, is with the burnishing step. You want to do that very last though, because once you've done that, it's so full of wax and it's so flattened that to go on top of it with more stuff is really difficult. And plus it wears out your hand, right? So that's one thing. You can use a colorless blender, which is essentially doing the burnishing step, but you're using a colorless blender. You can try odorless mineral spirits, which is a solvent, which is basically releasing the pigments by washing away the waxes and letting the pigments float down into the tooth and the texture. It has weird results on black, but give it a try. It works. It's just a little bit odd. It's not the same as when you're working on white. But in general, I kind of embrace the black showing through because your background's sort of going to be blackish. Everything's going to have this black sort of vintagey feel. So if you kind of embrace it rather than fight it, you may be happier in the long run instead of having to do all of this burnishing. So these pencils are working really good. I have no complaints. I want to try that black. It has like grays mixed in. Ooh, that's interesting. Huh. That's really interesting. Huh. I don't know if I like it or not. That would be fun to play around with. Do a whole mandala just with the tritones. Yeah. Okay, so what else did they want? What kind of, are there any things we haven't tried yet?
Gelatos.
Oh yeah. Just water-based or water-soluble crayons in general. We haven't even touched those yet. Let's bring up another one.
I guess we did the Neocolors, of course. They were great.
Yeah, but the more wet ones we haven't even tried yet.
And then P.H. Martin ink.
Oh, yes. We haven't done the Dilution spray either.
No.
You guys, anybody suggest that one yet?
Mm-mm.
You guys need to see the Dilution spray. It's so cool. Okay. Can I get in here, please? Okay, they wanted to see the shiny ones, right?
I thought I would do this one.
And...
Oh, and then... Oh, never mind.
We can try some regular ones, and then under that crayon one is some more shiny ones. That one, the sparkle.
Oh, and then Wink of Stella.
Oh yeah, I have a couple of those here. Okay, these are Wink of Stella. Okay, Wink of Stella, I want to try on this page here. These are Wink of Stella by Zig. Let's see how these do. I think these are pretty translucent. Kind of like a glitter gel pen, but a little different. Actually, it's doing pretty good. Look at that.
Jane Davenport Mermaid Markers.
Okay. Those are going to be, those are very translucent, but
Interesting to see.
it'll be interesting to see because I thought I knew what those Pitt pens would do. And we thought we knew what the Inktense pencils would do. Okay, so there's a pink. Here's a green of the Wink of Stella. And here is a bronzy color, gold brown. These Wink of Stella were also gifted to me by a fan. I'm trying to be good and always say when things were either gifted to me or sent to us by a company. Trying to be good, which I think I've done good so far. Okay, I'm gonna put these back here.
People having to go to bed.
Yeah. Wait in. Okay, these are gelatos. So these three products here, I'll give you a quick overview. These are water-soluble crayons or water-soluble
Like soft
pastels, like pastel. These ones are all contained in some sort of plastic container because they are so soft. Think lipstick. And all of them can either be used just the way they are, like a crayon, and then you can blend them like with your fingers, or you can activate them with water and they do amazing things. Again, if you decide to join us with the Bliss Partners, where we're learning how to do skin and hair, we've also done how to pick colors. We've also done an entire series dedicated to these lovelies. So much fun. We had so much fun. So these are, if you've never bought any of them, these are like artist grade technically, although I don't really believe that these ones are artist grade. These are more kids grades. These are more crafters grade. The ones we did earlier, the Neocolor 2s, they are full-on artist grade, but they are not creamy like these, so they don't have to be in a plastic tube. Okay, now you know. That's the quickie. So these two are kind of iridescent. These are flat. So let's see what they all do. Tim Holtz makes a line of these. Jane Davenport makes a line. Marabou makes a line. All kinds of companies make these. They're all basically the same. Lots of different price ranges. Lots to play with. So much fun. These were gifted to me by an awesome fan. Okay. All right. Look how fun, you guys. I had somebody over and they were playing with these with me. They were so much fun. Steve, pick me some colors. I'm going to drink some juice, some hydration while you pick me. I need 3 colors, a light, medium, and dark.
Okay. Well.
Oh, I knew it.
Gotta go blue. All right. Do that.
Okay. Thank you. That was my aunt.
Maybe we should just jump straight to gelatos.
Oh, but I wanted to try these.
Tired.
Steve's like, I want to go.
KR says, Jen's like the ever-ready bunny tonight.
It's because this black paper is so inspiring, you guys. Okay, there's the light. And the medium. And the dark. Look how vibrant. We haven't even blended them yet. Oh, and I was doing my mixed media piece. Oh, should I show them my mixed media piece that I did, Steve?
Yeah.
It's behind you, I think. And then you can just use your finger. I'm not hardly doing any pressure at all. And because it's water soluble and not an oil pastel, you can just wash that right off like with a wet wipe. Look how pretty. Oh, stunning. Okay, that was those. That was those. That was these. These are these. I think I'm getting tired. Will you grab me that canvasy book? So I used these kids' crayons on this piece of art that I created on Sunday. Look how cool this turned out, you guys. So proud of this. Look, this is my very first attempt at a full-on mixed media with collage in the background, and then all the shading I did on the flowers I did with those Shuttle Art Kids water-soluble crayons. I did the leaves, all that shading was done with those. So much fun. So proud of that. Okay, back to work. Okay, let me show you the sparkle ones now. I got distracted. Okay. I have to do show and tell of my fun thing. Let me show you the sparkly ones. These are by Uli. I think these were gifted to me by someone. I can't remember now. I think someone gifted these.
KR just donated.
Oh,
He's #1 fan.
oh, thank you, KR.
Do you have to seal these, or will they dry up?
These will dry eventually, but because of the amount of binder in them, it takes a long time. They're so goopy. So you can seal them. I usually just let them air dry. Ugh, these ones. I believe that purple one I just showed you was when my little niece came over and she wanted to pretend to be a YouTuber. So we turned on the cameras and let her make a pretend YouTube video. And she did such a good job. And when I pulled out these, she went to town with that purple. She was just going to town with that purple. It was so much fun to watch her just like a kid does, you know. They don't care. They just wow with this. Okay, that's the difference. Can you see the shine difference? Am I doing it too fast? There, some of the pearlescent was showing there for a second. In person, this is much more shiny. This has a bit of shine just because of the jolliness of it. Okay, these are gelatos. Again, these are by Faber-Castell. Faber-Castell has a big line of gelatos. The ones that are in the non-opaque line, non-opaque cases, no, the opaque cases are supposed to be more artist grade than these ones. Oh. That's what I learned. Oh, wow. That's pretty. But you can see, I think these are like 2 or 3 times the cost of this. And they're about the same payoff in color and in shine. So I don't think you need to buy the gelatos. I think you can get away with buying like those cheap shuttle arts or the cheap Ulis and have just as much fun. Let's do a blue. Oh, that one's really pretty too. Okay. And then blendy blendy. There's so many tricks with these that we just don't have time to play with. Again, if you want to learn how to use these, we have a 4 or 5 part, I think it's 5-part series that we did with the partners. And we do a fun art project at the end. Wow, I'm just blending it all together now. It's kind of a small space. This would, again, these mandalas, some of them have really big spaces, so you can really experiment with products like this. Okay, put these back in here. Hand these off to Steve. Where are we at? Oh, are we done? This seems like there was one more. Oh, I wanted to show you the sprays. Got to show you the sprays. Okay, they're right here. And I got to bring down my new box. my spray box. I made me a spray box, you guys. This is like a two-sided box. Everybody said I needed to make one, so I went and I learned how to do it with, and it's just cardboard and tape, and to protect the microphone, which is behind the box, so my voice sounds funny. Sorry. But this way, Rose won't get paint on her. The microphone won't get paint on her. Okay, so now you can look straight down. Okay. Look how cool. The tape won't stick. I don't know what I did wrong. Okay, these are the dilution sprays. We'll just do 2 of them. We'll do green and gold. And they have the glitter on the bottom. You shake them up. Okay, get the glitter. And be prepared to be astounded. This is my first spray in my new spray box.
Nice.
It's going to be glitter goodness. I can spray with abandon and not get it everywhere. Okay. So we'll do some green here. Okay, now you let that, maybe a little bit more. Oh, yeah. Let that dry. As it dries, it changes again because this is a wet medium. Hey, we forgot to get you on a mic.
Oh, that's good.
And again, look at how the printer ink sort of resists the wet mediums.
Oh, it does. That's cool.
Okay.
Whoa.
Yay for Splatterbox.
Oh, wow. That is really cool.
Isn't that neat? Look at the ink starts to come up,
Yeah.
and you can color on top of this. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's
Steve's
fun.
smiling. Steve's smiling. He's glad I did it, you guys. He's glad I took a minute. Okay, and now look at the shine.
Wow.
Oh, okay, look straight down. Oh.
Oh.
Look at the shine.
Okay, that's cool.
That was worth the extra
Yes,
2 minutes,
definitely.
don't you think? Let me move the box a bit so that the microphone is exposed. All right. Whew. I don't know how many products we tried.
So,
That was a marathon.
in general,
What you want to look for first are any products that are more opaque. So things that are strong colored, opaque, like color pencils are great. Metallics, glittery things like glitter gel pens, not so much. But try them because they'll leave behind a glitter, but the colors may fade. Water-based, translucent things like watery Tombow markers, all those will probably just sink into the paper and the black is going to win the battle, okay? But don't give up on those products. Try them because ever so often something strange may happen, like those pip markers. Something weird might happen that might be like, whoa, I can use that for something really neat, okay? So again, my recommendation is if you decide to buy Mandala Bliss Volume 5 on black, go through it and pick the one mandala that you just think is ugly and use that one as your experimental page. Get in there, swatch on it, experiment. We didn't even try pan pastels. They're beautiful on there. I mean...
Yeah, pan pastels. Somebody mentioned paint pans, Posca.
Posca pens are amazing. I mean, we haven't even touched half the things in my art studio that we could have tried. I wanted to try eyeshadow. The glittery eyeshadows will work good.
Somebody had asked about nail polish.
Oh yeah, we didn't try acrylic paints. I have acrylic paint. I mean, we could go another hour easy, you guys. So whatever you have and own, I bet you're going to find that a lot of it works really good. Now, things you want to buy, the black eraser. That's going to be probably one thing you want to invest in. It's not a lot of money. You can probably pick it up locally. That's a really handy thing to have. Another thing, if crumbs on your artwork bug you, you're going to want a little brush, especially if your hands are warm and you don't like smears of things. A little brush will take that all away and it won't bug you anymore, okay? And then the next thing I would tell you to invest in might be like a really good white color pencil and maybe a white Posca pen. Everybody needs a good white Posca pen for those really good highlight moments, okay? And then if you guys want it, comment below and I will do some more shorter videos, not a 2-hour long video, where I like maybe demonstrate how to do that, the gems, and how to do that chrome effect around the gems. Those little things that we can play around with and have fun with, okay? Or maybe we could even do a whole Bliss Partner long 4-part workshop all on black. I don't know. There's so many fun things we could do. So I hope you're as inspired as I am. You know, the paper is the foundation. It's where we begin. And I always say the paper is really important. It's when you pair the right art product with the right paper, just amazing things happen. And so to change one element, to change and go on to black paper, can reignite and get you really excited and make you look at your art products in a new way. So you don't even have to buy new art products. It's just going to change the way you use all your existing art products, and it's really exciting and fun. So I hope you're as excited as I am. Remember, you can get Mandala Bliss Volume 5 on other kinds of paper, not just the black. So follow the link in the video description and come on over and learn all about it. And don't forget to come and learn about the Bliss Partners too, because I'm teaching all about color picking and how to color skin and hair. And a lot of these art products I demonstrated today, we have full workshops on how to color with them. Gouache and water-soluble crayons and water-soluble color pencils, all of those I have workshops on how to color with them. So if you've been wanting to learn how to color with the art tools like that, come learn about the Bliss Partners, because for not too much money you get access to all kinds of archived workshops and you can learn along with me and the Bliss Partners. So thank you to those of you who donated to our channel today, and don't forget to give a thumbs up on your way out. I hope you enjoyed this live video and I hope you have a wonderful